Well, that's it, guys. 100% reliability. Big thumbs up in my book. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Oh, you're still here. Oh, okay. Well, in that case. It's pretty awesome. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back. I know it's been about a month since we last did a review, and that's because we've been very busy here on the channel. I actually had to do a big move recently, so welcome to the new setup. This will be kind of evolving over time, but what I have for you today is something brand new to 2021. This is the AREX Delta M 9mm. It is made in Slovenia, imported in, and it's about the size of a Glock 19, but I have a few other options here to compare it to. So what is so fascinating about this handgun? There are a ton of Glock 19 competitors out there, and what makes the Delta M, which is their Gen 2 of the original Delta, so special? Well, they added a bunch of features this year to the Delta, and the price kind of stayed the same. You're looking at between $400 and $500, which is a very competitive price in today's market, even in normal times, because of an optic cut combined with very nice grip, as well as nice ergonomic feel to it, nice and angled. All right, and that actually is pros and cons depending on how you shoot and what it feels like. And we'll talk about the grip here and kind of my pros and cons overall here at the end of this video. But so far, 100% reliable, very, very accurate, and it does feel good in the hands. So let's talk about what you get in the box with the AREX Delta M, and then we'll compare it to some of these other handguns on the table here. And then also let's talk about the optics mount here, because this mounting plate here, it's a little iffy. It has a few different options you can choose from, and I have one of the new Holosun 507C X2 with the new Primary Arms ACSS reticle right here that I did run this on, and it worked great, but just installing it kind of has some issues with it, and I'll throw it on here in a minute and I'll show you guys what it looks like, and we'll talk about it as well. .1. 4.75. So for the price point and what you get with the AREX Delta M, yeah, it's actually a pretty good bang for your buck in terms of the accessories and options you get with the actual case with this handgun. So of course, typical plastic case, locking tabs, open it up, and you're immediately greeted with a quick start guide talking about the features of the handgun itself. You have a 15-round mag, a 17-round mag in the firearm. You have 4, including one on there already, back straps you can take off and just slide off using this pin. You can punch out right there. I'm on number 2 of the 4. That fits me the best, but you can adjust it to your exact hand size. And then it also does come with a really neat little cleaning kit with the screw-in piece right there. So you just pop it open like so. And you see you got brushes, little pull-through hoops, little rod there. Very nice to have this in there for cleaning, so that's pretty cool. Don't see that too often. And of course you have the handgun itself. Again, there's your 17 rounders right there. And we'll talk about the handgun in a minute. Let's finish the case off here. So flip under the top lid right here, and you'll see you have a manual, you have a lock, some paperwork. And what's kind of cool here is you have a screw kit as well as different base plates or different mounting plates for your actual red dot if you choose to mount one on here. So we'll go and show you that here in a second. But let me show you the actual handgun real quick itself. Let's move that out of the way. So here it is right here, the AREX Delta M, the 2.0 version of the Delta. unloaded, of course. The slide, just kind of at first glance, is pretty stiff. It's not super easy to rack, so something to note there. You can see how angular the frame is compared to many handguns. You have some nice spots for your finger to rest on up here and your thumb to rest on right there. You have a Glock style takedown right there. Couple of things right here you notice right off the bat, very low profile mag release. So with a mag, a little beveling there, it's a very nice touch. With a mag inserted, you know, it's not real tactile, it's kind of just there, but pretty easy to actuate. It's more of a point though, and there's actually a couple of sharp edges I think on here that are good to note, and these are some of the cons here, so get ready for these. But mag release, not very sticking out, but enough to be usable. Not a whole lot of grip there either. Slide release though, this one, I swear I had a blister on my thumb after shooting a few hundred rounds with this thing. Very low profile, not a lot to grip on, and what you can grip on are two pointed edges on the top there, if you can see that. So when you do actuate it, you actually kind of hurt your finger quite a bit. Something to note there. Sights, right there, front sight, white dot, nice and narrow rear sight with some serrations on the back, but pretty easy to get on target. Very nice. Loaded chamber indicator right here. Actually, it's more of a letting you know that the firearm was cocked, and then the loaded chamber indicator is up top right there. Picatinny rail segments up top right here. Front and rear serrations to grab onto. Pretty easy to actuate there. Nice curve up here to get your finger right up in there, get a nice high grip on the gun. Keep it nice and firm. I don't really have too many issues with the grip itself. It's nice and tactile, very easy to hold and shoot. Trigger. The serrations actually need to, I wouldn't mind seeing these a little deeper. It's a little slick for how heavy that spring is to get the slide back. Trigger is kind of a hybrid flat trigger. That trigger you can kind of tell with the glistening of the plastic there. It just feels cheap, but it works. So let's give it a pull. It's a decent trigger. Short reset, I will say, you almost need to do a trigger job on here, because look at this. Can you hear that? A little gritty. Again, it's almost like polymer on polymer. Maybe we'll smooth that over time. It's only a few hundred rounds through here so far. But you have a good travel, hit the wall. Decent break. And the reset, even before the reset, you have that kind of gritty feel to it. But still, easy to get on target, easy to shoot. Not a huge deal there. Takedown is a bit different on this, so make sure it is unloaded. What you want to do is pull the trigger, pull these two side pieces down. I like to relieve a little bit of pressure on that. Then you can slide forward. It does not go all the way, so don't get frustrated with that. It actually just goes about there, and that is it. So you actually lift straight off, and it is not designed to slide off. It's designed to go a little bit forward and lift off. Then you have your typical guide rod and barrel. Inside, very well machined. Looks nice. Barrel. Frame. Yeah, typical striker fired handgun there. There's the guy rod captive spring. I think that's metal actually, yeah. All right, so put it back together. Grab a barrel. Lock it in like that. A little piece on the end here goes in here. Big piece, push in just a little bit. Pops in right there. Frame, you're gonna put this together the same way you took it apart. So a little bit forward. You wanna line it up. You can actually kind of see before you line it up, the slots are cut out for where the rails go in the frame. So you just put it in like that. and then rack it, you're back in business. So let's talk about the optics cut up here. For the kit, you have some extra screws, various lengths depending on the red dot you're trying to mount, as well as a total of 5 polymer plates. I don't know if polymer is gonna be a problem, but at least they give you the mounting plates. But as you know, these plates can get very expensive if they are made of some kind of a steel or aluminum. So polymer, I mean, I don't know. Again, budget pistol. So far it holds up just fine though from my testing with that hollow sun, and we'll drop that on here in a minute. But you have various bolts and screws and a couple of wrenches in there, a couple of keys in there. And on the top here, you have 2 screws. You can see right there, holding on a polymer cover plate right there. All right, and then you have to refer to your manual. It's on page 42, I believe, yep. 42, showing the different kinds of plates. You have your cover and the 5 mounting plates, and which of the different red dot optics that are being sold from different brands, different manufacturers, which fits to which plate. Now, if you're using a holosun or a Trijicon or an SRO, they use the same footprint, which is a nice convenient thing to have, since Trijicon is very popular and so are these holosuns now. And they don't say anywhere on here on these plates what you actually need to do to mount these and the name of which kind of red dots are on here. So you use these mounting type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5, type 1. Then this is the type 2, which I put separate right here for the Trijicon and the holosun. So due to YouTube regulations in 2021, I can't really show you how to install the plates, but I will walk you through it real quick. So you actually take out these screws right here, leaving you a nice area for this mounting plate to go in. And it goes in like such, with the 2 pegs sticking up facing forward towards the end of the barrel. And then you have a place for 4 of the smaller screws in the kit to go right into the slide. And then you take one of these little nuts here. For this particular one, there's various types of nuts and different ways to actually attach these plates. So you need to kind of reference the instructions on which of the ones you have for the red dot sight to actually go in here. But you put 2 nuts in there, flip it over, and then you take the appropriate length screw, go through the holosun or through the Trijicon into here and tighten down. Now, one thing I did note is when I was doing this, none of the screws that come with the kit or the holosun package actually fit very well to this. The only screw that works is one of these longer ones that just stick up a little bit high. It doesn't interfere with the window of the holosun, but typically you will want to see them kind of seated flush into the hole, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this kind of sticks up a little bit, and it's the only screw that fits. So I don't know what the deal is, but it works, so just something to note there. Let's go ahead and get the holosun on this handgun. So there's this optic cut up here. Let's do something with that, shall we? There we go. Oh, wait. Sorry, wrong one. There we go. Now we are talking holosun 507C X2 with the primary arms, ACSS Vulcan reticle, and a Streamlight TLR1 HL. See how it does. Definitely add some weight. Really smooths out the recoil though. And then, like I mentioned, those 2 larger screws, they don't fit exactly flush, but they are tight. I mean, this thing is not going anywhere. And it is definitely nice and tight to that plate, despite this being kind of plastic. So it is flimsy, so I don't know how that's going to hold up, but it does do the job for holding this on there. So I took off the light and took out the mag to share with you guys the size difference on a few different handguns. Here is a Steyr M9 9mm 15 round mag, and you can kind of see just how slim and short the package is for the AREX Delta M. 15 rounder with flush mags. Very nice. CZ P07 Tactical. A little bit different because it does have the threaded barrel, higher sights, but again, very slim, at least about the same length probably though. A little shorter there in the grip. There you go, good comparison there. And lastly, something that's a direct competitor to the Glock 19, the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 compact. This one's actually does have a light on it, as well as a threaded barrel, but it'll be a good size comparison. So you can see, a little shorter, just a hair thinner. There's the grips there next to each other. Nice compact package here, probably a perfect carry gun. Just need to start looking for some good holsters for it, since it is such kind of a new to the market handgun from Slovenia, but good size, feels good. So what are my final thoughts on the AREX Delta M? I think as a Gen 2 model, I didn't have any experience with the first one. However, for the price point, you can get quite a handy handgun with a ton of features to it. It seems to be built pretty well. I'm not noticing too many issues with it. Like I said before though, I think that slide is a little stiff. Trigger could be better. Definitely felt better there. You could probably do a trigger job on it, especially with the money you're saving. But, it's just okay. Still, it's accurate, it's fun to shoot. I haven't had too many issues with the grip itself. I think that cut is pretty nice for your fingers in there. Also with the trigger, something to note, you can kind of see the trigger guard itself is not very big. Your finger kind of wiggles back and forth there. Not great for maybe gloves or something like that, or if you have big old fingers. But also, if you ride the trigger towards the bottom of it, when you're pulling it back, I've actually pinched my finger a couple of times between the trigger and where it slopes up back here on the back of the trigger guard to help with that cut where your finger is going to sit in when you're holding the handgun. Not awful, but something to note there. Also, the mag release here we talked about, you can flip it either side, and the slide release is already on either side, so that is nice. However, that slide release is, you might have saw earlier in the close-ups there, a little pointy, I would say. I would have liked to see that maybe some serrations, maybe something like more what the Glock uses or what the Smith & Wesson uses, but it's a little sharp, honestly. But other than that, I like where you can rest your finger on there. I like where you can rest your thumb on there. Presents well, even with a red dot on there. And I'm going to do a full review on this Holosun. Easy to actuate lights. I don't know. I think over time, it'll probably wear in a little bit. I think they probably shave some costs somewhere when they're building these to get at the price point it is. But it seems to be pretty well built. I mean, all that really matters is reliability, and over time, we'll kind of see how a lot of the negatives hold up over time to kind of see if anything does break or if any kind of reliability issues present themselves. So that is my final thoughts on the AREX Delta M, their Gen 2 of the Delta that's been out a few years. It's a nice handgun. I mean, for the price point, it's great. You do get a lot of features. Some of them are kind of, see where they save the cost savings for some of the features with the plastic mounting plate right there, and just how kind of just the feel of it in general. But honestly, at the end of the day, as long as it's reliable and it runs, I mean, time will tell, but if it does all those things, it's thumbs up in my book. So it does come in gray, black, FDE currently, and again, that $400 to $500 range is where you're going to get it, and that's actually not too bad, especially in today's market in 2021 with an optic cut, which should be the standard going forward. So hopefully a lot more handguns are going to kind of see this and maybe drop some pricing here to kind of compete, but if you're interested in a new handgun, gotta say, I like it. So, well, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys like the new setup. We're going to be tweaking it as we go. Lots of good reviews coming up. So as always, make sure you hit any questions down below in the comments. Hit that like button, really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel. Head on over to Instagram, follow us there. Like us on Facebook for all the latest and greatest deals on the internet. And I'll see you guys in the next review.